Hello and welcome to my meditation. My name is Debra Baker and I am so grateful that you have joined us for this little while. Congratulations on taking this time for yourself. Are you ready? Let's get started. Let's begin with 3 nice, really deep breaths. First, filling up our upper chest. Holding it for a moment, just feeling even the skin in your chest stretch a little. And then releasing it nice and slowly. And now this time, breathe into your chest and your upper back and just feel your whole rib cage expand. Hold it for a moment or so, as long as it's comfortable. And then release it slowly. And now take the deepest breath you've taken all day. Breathe into your chest, your upper back, and all the way down into your belly. Just filling up your lungs, holding it for a moment. Just feel your whole rib cage and your belly expand. And then when you're ready, release it slowly, like letting the air slowly out of a tire. We're going to do something a little different today while relaxing our bodies. We know that our bodies are miraculous and, they do amazing things. I mean, we don't have to do anything to, for our hearts to keep beating, for us to keep breathing. So I think our bodies also know how to relax themselves when we give them permission and maybe a little bit of encouragement. So let's imagine that there are 10 levels to our bodies that we go through, and by the time we get to 1, our bodies are completely relaxed. So it's like we're releasing layers of stress or anxiety or tension. And so I'm just going to slowly count us backwards from 10, and I invite you to let your shoulders sink down. Just let all your muscles go to a neutral position. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. And so your body may continue to relax a little as you go through this process. I invite you to allow that to happen, to slow your breathing down just a little, but still allow it to be fast enough to be comfortable. Your heart rate is slowing down, and your brain is already shifted to the brain wave of meditation. So if you read my introductory slide, it says it's a setup. And what my guides woke me up with this morning was the thought that absolutely everything in our lives is a setup for this moment. For each moment, everything is working together for our highest good. So I'm going to say that a few times, and then we're just going to let that percolate for a moment. Everything is set up for our highest good. Everything that has happened, that is happening now, all our relationships, all of our trauma, all of our experiences has set us up for this moment. I've said before, the saying my friend Rose used to say all the time, "Thank you, God, I wouldn't have it any other way." What if the traumas that we have experienced, and I really do not know a person who hasn't had a trauma in their life, what if the traumas are some of the best tools we have to create the experiences we came here to have? So imagine you are in your infinite self. You are in the oneness before you come in to have this human life. And you look at it and you say, okay, I want to develop this quality, or I want to have this experience, or be able to help others in this way. What experiences would most help me in that regard? What if even the things, especially the things that seem like they didn't go your way, were actually your finest hour? The biggest gift you could ever receive. Pretty often when we grow up with trauma, we learn defense mechanisms. And I don't know anyone who doesn't have some defense mechanisms, and usually they are developed as a result of wounds that we have received, whether intentionally or unintentionally from others. But what happens is we hang on to those defense mechanisms, or they show up uninvited. And we don't realize that they served us well. They served us well. I worked in a job one time that was really busy and very demanding. And so I learned to compartmentalize my emotions, where I would, experience the emotion and then shut it off like a light switch and go back to my work. Because I didn't know how to function fully in that atmosphere. So much was being demanded of me. I had a very abusive boss. So I had to keep, for the most part, my emotions under lock and key. And when I let them out, I could only let them out for a moment and then shut them back down, which served me well in that situation. But it was not something that served me later on in my life. And so I hope that you can look at, if you recall some of your defense mechanisms, some of your coping strategies, I hope you can recall them with compassion for yourself. with kindness toward yourself and gratitude. Here's an affirmation, which might seem a little unusual. It is, I thank my younger self for surviving. I thank my younger self for surviving. I am grateful that there is something in me that refuses to give up. I am grateful. I am grateful there's something in you that refuses to give up, truly. We have so much more at our as resources, at our beck and call, at our disposal. So much more than we realize. And when push comes to shove, it shows up. But we don't have to wait until we are in crisis to appreciate ourselves, to recognize that whatever it was that I learned how to do to survive, whatever happened at whatever stage in life, I don't necessarily have to carry it forward. I thank it, I bless it, I embrace it. Imagine younger you, maybe you were a child who had an abusive person in your life or a neglectful person in your life. I invite you to just imagine that child crawling up on your lap and you just holding them tightly and saying, I am here now. I am here for you. You have been so brave. You have been so brave, and you continue to be so brave. I invite you to give yourself credit for that. You have far, far more courage than you think. We think of the words bravery and courage as they refer to people in life-threatening situations. But sometimes it's not our physical life that is threatened. It's our emotional life, our psychic life, our psychological and mental health. And you've been brave, so brave, showing up for yourself. I invite you to consider if you were to give yourself a Medal of Honor, which I know you deserve, what would you say in your acceptance speech? Thank you for noticing how hard I tried, how hard I keep trying. And now I realize that all of those brave moments were making me strong, were making me tender, were making me able to accept and embrace my vulnerability. I accept and embrace my vulnerability. everything that has happened up until now and going forward in this human experience is a setup. It's setting you up to have the experiences you came here to have. The guides just showed me this image of, some of our defense mechanisms could be like an umbrella. When it's pouring down rain, man, we need them. But it really doesn't make a lot of sense to carry an umbrella about with us, when the sun is shining. And the sun is shining in parts of your life now, so you can bless your umbrella and set it aside, thank it for being there for you, and recognize that it'll be there for you if you need it again. Or maybe you can figure out a different way so that you can navigate through life without needing protection. Maybe there's a secret tunnel that's out of the elements. Maybe you don't have to expose yourself to things that might make you uncomfortable. And one final thought. People talk a lot about getting out of our comfort zones. And the guides tell me it's not about getting out of your comfort zone. It's about expanding your comfort zone to include more experiences. Expanding your comfort zone to include more experiences. You're not doing it wrong. You haven't been doing it wrong. You're not a mistake. You're not bad or less than or any of that other nonsense. You've been on point this whole time. You just didn't know it. And you know it now. And I congratulate you for that. So let's take one more really deep breath. And invite ourselves, our subconscious and our unconscious, to chew on that idea all week long that we have everything we need and everything is a setup to prepare us for what comes next, for what we came here to experience, and to have these wonderful, wonderful human lives. We are so, so blessed. And I want to remind you that you are whole and perfect exactly as you are, in the one presence, in the one power, moving in, through, and as me, honors and recognizes the one presence and the one power, moving in, through, and as you. Namaste. Have a wonderful week.